As a university lecturer, I constantly get asked some suggestions on how to make the best curriculum vitae or CV or a resume. And there are some things that someone who's going to be hiring for a position looks for, even though it's kind of an impossibility to know exactly what they're looking for, but definitely you want to look out for the major things. So I've included a link below to a really great article that someone else wrote that I think covers the basics, and I want to talk a little bit about the things that aren't on that list that I think are really important. So the first thing to keep in mind is that the person looking at your resume probably hates to look at resumes. I know for myself, I've hired hundreds of people in my career, and looking at resumes is a bane of my existence. I really don't enjoy it, but it's part of the job, especially if I want to get a really good team. So you want to make your resume as easy as possible for that person looking at it to be able to say yes to an interview. And many times, especially with the way that things are submitted now, sometimes a real human doesn't even look at the resume until it's gotten into the second or third tier. So you want to make sure to have those really top keywords that are important for your industry. Another big one is to update your CV or your resume as soon as you do something really cool, or you do an internship, or you speak somewhere, or you get published on a paper, because if you wait to do it later, a lot of times you can forget. So you should constantly be updating your CV or your resume every single time that you do something cool, because in the back of your mind you'll think, oh yeah, I'll do it when I need a job. And trying to update your CV when you need a job is the worst time to do it. And it can be something even in the role that you are currently doing. Let's say you learned a new skill, or you were given a new leadership kind of responsibility within your team. Go ahead and just pop that into your CV when it happens, so that you have your CV ready when someone asks for it, even if you're not looking for a job. The question always comes up if one page is appropriate or more. And that really depends on where you are in your career and what type of job that you're looking for. So in academia or higher education, a full curriculum vitae is going to be multiple pages. So for example, my curriculum vitae at this point as a mid-career professional is around 5 pages. But if you are just starting out and you are creating what we would normally call a resume, depends on which country you're in, you want to look at kind of getting to a 1 page, something that someone can quickly and easily see. But you do not, I repeat, do not want to shove that 1 page full of everything possible. And you don't want to use a font that's so small that it feels overwhelming to look at and is really hard to read, because again, people are going to spend a very, very small amount of time actually looking at your resume. You want to make it as easy as possible for them. Next is to think about what you want to do, where you want to go, and exactly what you're about. And I think that this can be one of the hardest things, because sometimes we think of a CV or a resume as simply just a history of what we've done. And that's a little bit of what it is, but it's a tool to get you where you want to go. So everything in your CV needs to be about where you want to go, not just where you've been. That means that you want to remove anything that you don't want to keep doing. Now, I don't mean remove it completely as far as experience, but don't highlight it in your CV. For example, I was a waitress and a bartender for many, many years while I was in college, and if I was to put that on my CV now, I wouldn't want to showcase that I was bussing tables and running food and taking orders, because that's not what I want to do anymore. If I was going to use that on my CV now, I would want to talk about the leadership opportunities I had on the team, and different ways that I was able to interact with customers to give them a unique experience. So same job, but angling it in a different way where it helps to support where I want to go instead of where I've been. So you want to put the most important stuff right at the top. Now, if that is your education, then do that. If it's the experience that you've gotten when you volunteered and necessarily haven't gotten a paid position, but you have worked in the field that you're interested in, put that at the top as well. And you want to make sure to really highlight the things that you've done in your coursework or your volunteer work, internships, even within your classwork, that is going to directly correlate to the thing that you want to do. And sometimes this takes a little finesse and a little bit of thinking, but everything you've done should look like it's building up to this next step. So the person that is looking to fulfill that position is going to see you as the perfect candidate. After you're all done with your CV or resume, make sure to just print it out and give it to someone, a friend, a student, a colleague, and have them spend like 5 or 10 seconds just looking it over. Not really reading it, just kind of like getting a big picture, and then take it away from them and then ask them, what are you about? What is their impression of your CV? And if they come back with, I don't know, then you need to go back. Because within 5 or 10 seconds, whoever's reading that resume for the first time needs to get a sense of what you're about, what you're trying to say and communicate with that CV, and what you want to do, and of course, where you want to go. So the words that you use, the way that you are going to highlight things that are important for your roles, all needs to be focused on where you want to go, not where you've been. And lastly, you want your CV or resume to look visually appealing, but not over-designed. So you want to keep it nice and clean with really clean lines, and use a font that is easy to read and doesn't have any cursive or squirrely type attributes to it. And make sure that everything is in the same font. Do not go crazy with fonts. Don't include any pictures on your CV or resume. And again, every time that you're changing your CV, updating it, or getting ready to send it to someone else, keep in mind the things that I've said in this video. That you want to make sure that it's communicating for the job that you want, and that it is clear and easy to read, so that anyone looking at it is going to get a clear picture of exactly who you are, what you're about, and where you want to go in just a few seconds. So I hope that this video and the write-up on this page has helped you. And if you have any other suggestions that you think I missed or that was missed in any of the articles below, please let me know. I would love to include them. And of course, best of luck in wherever you are putting that CV or resume, because it is a tool for success.